Good morning, good morning. Oak leaves are starting to open up. Sure sign of spring here. Blue jays. I can hear the blue jays talking. I'm just out trying to get some movement in my legs this morning to where I can move around pretty good. Blooms, shoots are starting to come out. What a monster. We've got a beautiful day here in Alabama. It's going to be about 85 degrees. We got down to about 59 last night. Nice and cool. Look at all the babies popping out underneath this. It got a little elongated, a little bit elongated, but we'll see what it'll do. I know it's growing like crazy now. It's a type of clancho, I believe. They call it a flapjack or pancake. Clancho Lucia. This came from a very special person, very dear friend, along with the Hoya cuttings and stuff I have. I think that's one of the best things about plants is, to me, that is the greatest thing you can do with a plant is to give it to somebody else, to share them, to propagate it and, give that joy to somebody else. I really think that. I think that's why African violets are such a special, special plant because of that right there. Because they're such a people plant. Hoyas are kind of, I think, fall in that category too, and I'm new to Hoyas. But I believe people give and swap cuttings and hand down cuttings from generations to generation, from my understanding. A few of the succulents that made it through winter, I'll be honest, I don't know if everybody's noticed that I don't have a lot of crotons or Rex begonias or anything like that anymore, spider plants. When I first brought plants in last fall, we had an outbreak of spider mites and mealybugs, which is common when you bring plants inside that time of year. Drier conditions, heaters on, everything like that, furnace and stuff. Dries the air out. Conditions are just perfect for it. I did hit a few of them before I brought them inside, but I didn't really treat them that much. Wasn't really having any issues with anything. And then when my back got real bad and I couldn't get out there and take care of them, take a look at everybody and water them like they're supposed to and care for them, things got out of control really fast. So those plants disappeared. Oddly enough, the succulents weren't affected, which most of them aren't. And the orchids, not a single mealybug or spider mite or anything on the orchids, not a one. And they haven't been sprayed since last June. And they're outside now and have not been sprayed either. So their natural defenses should be able to protect them if their nutrient levels, I think, are adequate. So we're going to see what Mother Nature can provide us right now, because I don't want to handle the chemicals unless I have to. But this is a few of the succulents that have made it and hung in there. Just a pretty day starting today. I'm just outside checking on things. Look at the giant pepper plant we got going on here. It's grown since last night, I think, since we fed it. Just remarkable. The sun is waking everybody up. I really hate that I don't have a lot of blooms. With 100 and so orchids here, there's not a lot of blooms going on. There's some spikes coming, there's some new buds coming, I've noticed, but I've just got a lot of growth instead. Those guys are doing okay. The one on the left really doing well, growing lots of roots, and that leaf that was sitting there stalled for a while is now coming back out again, and appears to be growing properly. So we'll see. The one on the right, not as much. It still has some new roots coming out, but they're not as aggressive as I would like to see them. The other roots are slowly fading off. So I don't know. The spike is still hanging in there, but it's not doing much. I don't know if the reserves are just that low on that plant. It doesn't have a lot to hold itself up or continue on. And I mean, if it wanted that spike, it would eat it. So I don't think that's the issue. I just think it lost so many roots, it's not able to support itself. And outside, like I've said before, you know, last year when I removed plants out, the ones that weren't doing well or had issues, they died very quickly. They were not able to take it outside. So I hope I don't lose that one, but we'll see. I was counting this morning, there's 27 or 28 Phalaenopsis around here, so I don't want to lose a single one of them, but if I do lose one, it's not going to kill me. But and that was a rescue, so I don't feel as bad about it either, but I hate to lose a single plant for any reason. I've still got a couple of mounts to take care of. I've got a little Brassivola clump that's on some red oak I want to get off of. Little Cattleyas on hickory, that one's okay. That's hickory, that's okay. Some sulfurnitis need to be reworked. For the most part, I think I'm done. That's a piece of hickory, it seems to be doing fine. And it seems to be loving that new mount. We'll see how things respond. I'm not sure if I damaged one of my new shoots on my Encyclia. That was a big shoot at the top, got bent over at an awkward angle yesterday coming out of the water. It was in there with some other mounts. I think it got bent, so I'm hoping it's going to be okay and not not get damaged, or not. Hope it hasn't hurt the growth on it, I should say. Well, it was a peaceful morning, wasn't it? Beautiful color on that moonlight bloom. Just love that dendrobium. I've got nutrients mixed up still. Some fresh ones. That's fresh right there. This is left over from yesterday. I'm going to check it and see if it's usable. Little Christmas cactus, or Easter cactus, or Thanksgiving cactus. I think it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, right? This one has the little spikes on, so I think this is a Thanksgiving cactus. There, I'm backwards. Anyway, this was a little teeny tiny thing last fall, and again, it wasn't hurt. It wasn't bothered by the bugs or pests or anything. These thick leaf type plants I do best with. So anyway, it seemed to survive and do real well. So it just needs repotting. It's in a little pot, so it's going to move up a little bit of size and get potted later on today. Nothing special there. Everybody's waking up. I took some of the, this is my Encyclias right here. I have 7, or not Encyclias, excuse me, Oncidiums. I have 7 Oncidium types, 5 varieties. Down here at the very end is, and I hope this tag's correct. I gotta repot this one too. Bolera, Marfitch, Howard's Dream. We'll see when it blooms, if I ever get a bloom out of it. This was down to just that bulb, and I strapped it in that little pot, and it started putting out roots, and it grew that little, that new little plant right there. And then that has now started a new shoot recently, and it's coming out nice and strong, much bigger than the other one. So I'm not giving up hope on it just yet. It was a rescue, and it didn't do well and lost all its roots and everything. And then once I figured out how to grow these things, it was down to just that bulb. This is Oncidium Cherry Baby Sweet Fragrance. Is it Sweet Fragrance? Sweet Fragrance. It's doing really well. Crazy roots. Still has a spike from last December that it has never eaten back. Always been curious about that. I don't think they re-bloom from old spikes, do they? Has a big new growth right here, and another big new growth right here coming out. So really happy about that. And just roots everywhere. Just a crazy, crazy grower. It's outgrown this little 6-inch pot, so I'm sure I'm going to have to repot it soon. It's in a mixture of pea gravel, lava rock. This one right here is in a mixture of lava rock and pea gravel. This is Banfieldera, Mystic Maze, Gilded Tower. I got this one last summer, and it's done very, very well. It's bloomed a couple of times, and has a big new growth. Great big growth coming off of it. It's in a mixture of large river rock, large pieces of lava rock, with some pea gravel and stuff tossed in around amongst it, and that's it. Just some big chunks of rock, and it's just going crazy. This is Oncidium, if I'm saying that correctly, Wildcat Golden Red Star. And again, this was a rescue down to that little bulb, and it's grown 2 new bulbs now since, and now has got a spike coming out. So hopefully I can make sure that that's the correct tag for it, and we'll see what it's doing. But it's growing really, really well, and it's a mixture of pea gravel, river rock, lava rock, and has a little bit of moss on top of it. Very, very light cover of moss on top of it, live moss. These are about the only pots that I'll ever see any kind of like moss buildup like this at all, or algae buildup, is the ones that have live moss. Other than that, they all stay nice and clean. If you'll notice in my pots, not to swivel everybody around, but any of my plant pots, most of these are going on a year, been in here in gravel and river rock, lava rock, etc., but without being repotted. No algae buildup and no salt residue on any of these pots. You ever notice that? I get a lot of comments about the plants, but nobody ever says anything about salt residue or buildup on the pots, how clean they are. I don't clean them, I don't scrub them, I feed them properly. If you feed properly, and I'm new to orchids, but I have a lot of experience when it comes to dealing with salts and hydroponics. And salts are the death of all plants. Any type of buildup of residue is death to a plant. So if you feed correctly and flush them correctly, you don't ever see that. Won't ever see that. And your plants will keep growing. Anyway, sorry for the segue there, but no residue, no salt buildup, none of that, none of that. Algae is a little bit different, and that's really because of the spores from the top. It's cutting down airflow, etc., stuff like that. And that's where you get that. If you don't have proper airflow, if you keep like saucers underneath your plants and stuff, you'll see a lot of this in gardens and people's that have, or you're setting on a solid surface like this where it's not wire mesh, so they're not getting air circulation. If I put saucers underneath these on top of the wire, I'm going to get that kind of issue because they're not going to get the airflow. Airflow is so important. I thought that fell out of there earlier. This is Oncidium Gower Ramsey. And actually, when I first got it, all the roots died off on it. It was a big clump that had a bloom spike and everything on it, like everybody gets from the garden center and stuff. Bought it springtime last year. As soon as I got it home, I noticed all the roots were dead in the moss and the bark, so I tried to water culture it, and it ended up just coming apart into separate pieces. So 1, 2, 3, and there you go. And all 3 of them are now growing like crazy. This one has grown several new pieces and bloomed a couple of times. It's just finishing up this one right here. I would imagine bloom spike to come off it soon. Both of these little pieces down here have just, over the last year, have grown multiple more additions and getting bigger with each new one. But that was really little tiny pieces. This one has bloomed also, has grown the new bulb I should say, with a spike from last year, and now has another new growth coming up. It was leaning over, so I'll get it propped up with a piece of wire right here to help hold it up. And it has moss on it also. It's in lava rock, complete lava rock. These are in, you can peek under the moss, river rock, pea gravel, etc. A little moss on top of it. This one's just in a mixture of all kinds of stuff. And they all seem to be doing really, really well. Anyway, sorry for the dogs barking in the side yards there. That's what Oncidiums I have. There's only 7 of them, 5 different varieties. But that's a quick look at what little Oncidiums I have. I really like them. They're beautiful plants, grow really well. Easy growers and fast growers too. Multiply. They'll spread right out of a pot, I've noticed. Well, that's it for the day. That's it for me this morning, I should say. I'm going to get back to it. I think I'm going to get a cup of coffee and come sit down and enjoy my beautiful, beautiful morning that's coming on. I've got nutrients mixed up over here. I'm waiting for it to get just a little tiny bit warmer, and then I'm going to start spraying. And I'm going to soak and spray everybody down hard today. Have a wonderful morning. Thanks for watching.